Greetings and salutations, everybody. It's your favorite Bubby Jethro, and these are my opinions. Sorry, I've been away for a hot minute, but I've had job interviews and doctor's appointments and eye exams and just all kinds of, adult real-life stuff that you gotta take care of. And like I said, I've also been, said life is not easy. You have your ups and your downs and your good times and your bad times, and you just got to roll with the punches and keep it moving, Try to make tomorrow better than today and everything else. So that's what we're doing. Like I said, you make choices in life, and those choices sometimes come with consequences, and all you can do is hopefully think things through and try to make the right decision for you and your path. And if in your heart you have conviction that what you did, even though it might have hurt some people, was the right thing to do, well, then again, keep it moving. And what do they say, let go and let God, or is that what it is? Like I said, I have my own views on religion, and I'm not exactly what you would call a devout guy, but I'm spiritual in my own way, and I believe, all this is really too awesome and too complicated to be an accident or coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidence. So, but that all being said, life is good though. I went to the doctor, and got to readjust myself in the chair. If you can tell, I'm still fat as fuck. But actually, I got on a scale in January. It was really weird. I had some dental work done, but it was the first time I'd been there in forever. And for some reason, I already had bad hurting teeth, and let's make me feel even worse and stand on a scale. But so when I did, I was about 383 is what I was, and so now, like I said, I've never been a huge drinker, but at times in my life, due to stress and other things, I'm not proud to admit, but I've drank a lot more than I should. Being in medically assisted recovery, it's not an absolute no-no, like that you'll get kicked out of the clinic. I mean, if it becomes a life-threatening issue, they absolutely will. But they if you seem to be a responsible adult, they leave you to your own devices. Like, they're just big, no opiates. And if you can stick to that, they're pretty much they pretty much let you live your life. And so that's why I love my clinic in that regard. But ever since these life changes and all the stress came into my life, and instead of getting tanked every night and pushing away my feelings with alcohol and other things, like, I started working out. And I said I have had a cocktail or two in the last 4 months, but much less than in the 12 months previously. And so when they weighed me for my I'm 44, it's about time for that very unpleasant scene from the movie Fletch with Chevy Chase, if you know what I'm talking about. Old Man River. Hey, get away from me, Doc. It's in prison. But, it's time for those kinds of examinations and other things. And so you just, the key to surviving a lot of things is early detection. So you got to go see your doctor, and you got to talk about what's wrong with you. And so nothing major, hopefully, knock on wood, but I weighed 337 pounds, which I was pleasantly, again, it's hard to be excited about being, 337 pounds, but considering that I was over 380 4.5 months ago, I'll take it. And so you'll be seeing, I'll be talking more about this. We're gonna have, avert your eyes. We're gonna take some videos just to see, what my transformation can look like if I keep doing the right things. And so I think with some video evidence and talking about it and motivation, it can happen, because I would like to lose another 100. I'd like to get down to about 225, and I think that's for being a 6 foot, and I'm not a small guy. I'm very wide framed. Like I said, I would never, you could put me on a deserted island and I'd still be a wide-shouldered big guy when they find me a year later. But I'm happy with it. Like you said, it shows that the 4 months haven't been all for naught, and I'm going in the right direction. So that's good. I wanted to make the video today just because I wanted to talk about maybe the reason I started doing drugs in the first place is I've always kind of thought maybe I had a mild case of ADHD, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and there was still a stigma with mental health. And, you know, like kind of the worst thing that could happen to you in a kid is like have to go talk to a therapist or a psychiatrist. Like, oh, you belong in Silence of the Lambs. Like, you're one of those people that talks to a psychiatrist. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? You batshit crazy? You know, it just, there was a stigma to it. And, you know, so I just didn't know. But looking back now, like all the time, I'll be doing something and you walk into another room to, you know, oh, I need this. And you literally 10 steps away and you walk into the room and, well, what was I here for? I mean, little things like that. In, you know, middle school, high school, writing a paper was the scariest thing you could ask me to do because it was so hard to organize my thoughts. And I am the king of start 1,000 projects and finish none. Like, that's me to a T. Procrastination, you know, you always love that. I called it the, you know, just need that last second, you know, the deadline buzz, you know, like that's what makes me get, you know, but I always cross the finish line. You know, I did in high school, but you can't go through college like that. It's a totally different, you know, you got to be more responsible and you actually have to do your work every day. You can't study 10 minutes before each class or each test and then get a B. And I could always skate because I listened in class and I have a really good memory. And so I could short-term retain and regurgitate. I was really good at that. And so, yeah, you can get through high school that way, but you can't get through college like that. And I found that out very quickly. And so we call it in our family, like, you know, having busy brain syndrome. Like, I don't know, is everybody as crazy as me? Does everybody walk around like talking to themselves all day long? Because I mean, I kind of do. Like, it never shuts up. This inner monologue that's just constantly, it makes it, they always say in recovery, you know, you got to try and live in the moment. And just with, you know, it's like, just shut the fuck up and live in the moment. But it's really hard. And so I talked to my doctor about, like, maybe I need to be on like a low dose ADHD medicine to kind of help maybe calm that inner voice and help me focus. It's been a problem. And I don't know if it'll help, but I'm being completely open and honest with my doctor. And so, like, we're gonna see. But it's just, again, I kind of wish I had really opened up and talked about this maybe 25 years ago. Because who knows if it could have made a difference, because that's part of the reason, you know, I always loved marijuana, because it was one of the only things that just kind of calmed me down and, you know, allowed me to just kind of shut up for a minute and relax and not constantly. You know, I don't know if anybody understands or can relate to it, but it gets old a little bit, you know, even if you are your own best friend. And I tickle myself to death all day long, but it can get old. And like I said, I always loved movies because it's a distraction. You know, when I would fixate on something as a teenager or a kid, and, you know, anything that would stress me out, like it started with a TV VCR in my room, and I'd fall asleep to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because I could just do the movie lines in my head, and it was almost like I could take my mind to the place in the movie and watch it in my head. And I don't know, man, it kind of calmed me down, and it kind of helped me sleep. I mean, honestly, like going to bed, like laying in a dark room with no sound would be, like I need a fan or a radio. I need something. It just, you know, even crickets. It's hard to explain. So, but like I said, the doc, we're doing some blood work. She's going to talk with some of her people, and we're going to figure out what the right thing is. And so I'll keep everybody updated on this. But again, it's going into 5-6 years of medically assisted recovery with, he said, maybe 1 or 2 hiccups many years ago, but it's been lots of years since I've put anything in my body that I wasn't prescribed by a doctor, that was illegal or came from the streets. So anyone living in active addiction, I can't say it enough, you don't have to live like that. And brother, sister, y'all are playing Russian roulette with bazookas. The pills out there, even the ones that look like they came from a reputable pharmaceutical company, they're either being made by, Mahmoud, Jose, or Sergey, or somebody from some other cartel somewhere, making it in their bathtub or their garage, and it's all fentanyl, and man, it could be your last one. It's killed so many people, and I can't stress enough, even my, living in addiction sucks, and it's hard. And living in sobriety is awesome, but it's harder, because there's a price to be paid for waking up and getting sober, because all the emotions and everything that has caused you to turn to drugs in the first place is going to come storming back into your life with a vengeance, because that's all the stuff you tried to run and hide from and made you use in the first place. So you have to, again, therapy, you got to talk with people, you got to get to the source of the problem, or it's just going to repeat itself over and over and over again. It's like nothing changes till something changes, But I just wanted, it had been a minute since I dropped a video, and I just wanted to tell you all that I'm here and I'm doing okay, relatively speaking. Like I said, you think about, the kid that was killed in Texas by the other kid at the track meet, both their families are horrifically fractured for forever. And it's so senseless. I don't know what happened, and I don't care. It's senseless. It's just horrific. I'm so sorry to both. The kid that lost his life, and then the kid that, if you're convicted of this crime, your life is going to be over. Like, you are never going to breathe free air again, my guy. It's over. And we take for granted that most nights we lay down, that, we've had biblical flooding here in Kentucky over the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's bad in some areas, and we really do take for granted that we lay down every night. We're warm, our bellies are full, and our loved ones are safe. That father, both families, they're never gonna have a night's sleep like that again. All the people that have lost people to addiction, they might get a better night's sleep over time, but they don't ever get a good night's sleep again. And my heart goes out to them, and it's just, there's so much beauty, and then there's so much ugliness in the world, and you just got to try and navigate it and be the best person that you can. He said, stay honest to who you are and try to make tomorrow a better day. So if you're in active addiction, I love you, I'll pray for you. You can make the phone call, get help. There's help out there. You can. Like I said, I know opiates, they've got a ridiculous kill rate. They're no joke. They're the baddest mofo on the block. But it's beatable. You can fight it. Almost everybody, like I said, I've never heard of anybody beating it alone. Everybody needs help with this one. It's a powerful demon. But you work at it, you can hold it at bay. So he said, I haven't beat it. But for years, I've been standing at the entrance of my soul in my cave with my sword drawn, ready to go to the mat. Because never again, brother. Never again, sister. I will never be that slave again. Like I said, never say never, because when you let your guard down, that's when that insidious monster rears its head the mightiest. So, stand on 10 and be ready at all times. But I will fight to my last breath to make sure that I'm never that slave again. And I pray that you guys can get out too. So, love and prayers, baby. Love and prayers. I love y'all. I hope you're doing good. And this is Jethro. Be good or be good at it.